Why are Brainrot games so popular in Roblox? In my last video about tutorials and how they affect games, I briefly talked about a Brainrot game called Sale for Brainrots. This is a game made by a team of developers led by YouTuber Creekcraft. I said in that video that Creek was going to make a video about why Brainrot is so popular on the platform, and he finally has. What he talked about was the reason behind why the games are being pushed so heavily on Roblox, but he didn't really talk too much about why people like these games. I want to talk about that. I've written up a few reasons as to why I think Brainrot as a whole has become so popular. I'll start off simple and get into more complicated topics as we go. Let's start with, I know that sounds like it's super stupid to say because of how simple of an idea it is, but it's just the current trend with kids. Roblox's user base is primarily younger kids, and right now kids like Brainrot. As someone who has been making content on Roblox for a while now, I've seen a lot of trends. I can't tell you how much skibbity toilet stuff I had to sift through, how many lines to get to a bathroom I've stood in, and how many capybara I've seen in order to find content. Brainrot is no different. I will say that at least with Skibbity Toilet, there were some pretty cool fight scenes that came out of it, no matter how stupid it really was. Kids tend to like the things that their friends like because they want to hang out with their friends. It really is that simple. It's not only kids that do this either. Right now in the Arc Raiders community, the number of people I've run into that call Loot Goop or the Rocketeer is Space Jesus because of the burnt peanut, it's uncountable to me. I've even taken on his stupid little thing because it has been ingrained into my skull. In my opinion, Brainrot is similar to this, but it's on a platform with millions more people, and some of those people know how to code games. But it'll only last for a little while. At some point, Brainrot will become boring, and whatever comes up next will take its place. What that thing is, we don't know yet, but it'll probably be just as stupid. But you can fight back against Brainrot. How? You make it uncool. I think Skibbity Toilet fell off for a few reasons, but I think the final blow was the fact that you could buy toys of it at Walmart. I'm sure there are some people who like the toys, but once it hit the mainstream, it stopped being cool. Nothing makes things more uncool than when adults start to co-opt the things that kids are into. If your dad starts saying, "Skibbity Toilet and the Rizzler, am I right, son?" Are you really going to think that's cool? No, you move on to the next thing. It just so happens that right now it's Brainrot. Look, I don't know if there are Brainrot toys or plushies or whatever, I'm sure there are, but as soon as it goes mainstream, people will move away from it. Right now it's sort of confined to internet culture and Roblox games, but once it hits store shelves, that's when it'll die. I talked about this in my video about tutorials and how they can poison a first impression of a game. By the way, go check that video out. It's done pretty well. Thank you. Brainrot games are typically very easy to understand. They have simple mechanics with simple tutorials. This lets people get into the game quickly and actually play the game without getting bogged down in a million screens of explanations on how to play. To quickly recap the tutorial video, people want to actually play the games they have. If there's too much friction at the beginning that holds people back from playing the game, they'll leave, especially in a free-to-play game. Brainrot games typically tend to have short tutorials that last less than a minute before the player is playing the game. The game still needs to be good to retain players, but the tutorial and intro need to be good enough to make sure the players don't quit within the crucial first few seconds. This leads into part 3. There are also a few mechanics that a lot of these games have in common. Of course, there's RNG mechanics that keep people playing the game in hopes that they can get the rarest items, but let's be honest, it's basically gambling. If you can spend real money on chance mechanics in a game, you're gambling. Then there's usually a mechanic that allows players to show off their Brainrot and the progress they've made. This allows players to basically boast to other players about their progress and how lucky they've gotten. In something like Grow a Garden, you can see other players' gardens and the size and types of plants they have. This lets you know that they've been very lucky with their chances and may also have been grinding events. It motivates other players to keep playing. If you see someone with a super rare Brainrot on display, display, then it motivates you to try and get to that point as well. This is old news though. Multiplayer games have had this type of mechanic for a very long time. MMORPGs with central hubs that allow players to see each other have perfected this idea, because lower level players can see higher level players decked out in their fancy gear. This urges lower level players into playing more so they can make their character look just as cool and powerful. Call of Duty allegedly has a patent for this exact type of idea. The patent says that they want to pair a quote marquee player, meaning a player that has spent money on skins, with players that haven't. Their hope is that in seeing the marquee player, the basic player will want to spend money in order to make their own character look different. Creek talks about the effects that all these things have in his video, which comes to point number 4. In his video entitled We Need to Talk, Creek talks about Brainrot games and their prominence on the front pages of Roblox. He talks about his new game studio, the game they are in the process of making, and the new Brainrot game they just released. At one point, he talks about the analytics of releasing a game on Roblox and how Roblox ranks games on the store page. I'll let him say it for himself.
You see, whenever you make a Roblox game, Roblox presents you with these metrics here. And there's more than this, but these are kind of like the main ones. And what these metrics show is your game's performance on Roblox. And some of these are very simple to understand. Like, for example, how long does the average player spend in your Roblox game? If people just join your Roblox game and leave, then, well, obviously it must not be a good game and Roblox isn't going to recommend it. But there's also some stats that are a little bit weird. Like, one of the things that Roblox measures a game's performance on is the average revenue per paying user. How much Robux does the average paying Roblox player spend in your game? If it's not high enough, Roblox will not promote your game as much. The higher it is, the more Roblox promotes your game. So if you've ever wondered why Roblox games have so many things to buy and so many microtransactions and loot boxes and spin wheels, that's why. The more money a Roblox game makes, the more Roblox will promote it. But there's also another metric, like this one here, day 7 retention. And what this means is how many Roblox players after 1 week of playing are still playing the game. So if someone started playing a Roblox game today, will they still be playing in 1 week? If the answer is no, well, then Roblox isn't going to recommend your game as much. What this means is that while Roblox says, yeah, you can really make anything you want on Roblox, it's not really entirely true. Some things just do better because Roblox wants them to do better. Like yesterday on stream, I played Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. This is a 3-hour-long single-player horror game, and it was great. I loved it. It's an amazing game, and you could take this game and you could put it on any gaming platform. You could put it on Xbox, you could put it on PlayStation, you could put it on Nintendo Switch, you could put it on Steam, you could put it on Epic, you could put it on any gaming platform, and it would do well because this is a really good game and people want to play it. But if you copy and pasted this game as it is to Roblox, it would not do well. It would fail. Why? Because it's a 3-hour single-player horror game. People aren't going to be playing it in 1 week. There's no microtransactions in the game, so people aren't going to be spending a lot of money in it. It's not as simple as that, okay? I don't want to come on here and pretend that it is. There's a lot of nuance to this. But the reality is, games on Roblox that are designed to keep people playing, keep people spending money, and keep people coming back every single day, those are always going to do better than other games because that's just what Roblox wants. That's how the Roblox algorithm works.
Who would have guessed that the multi-billion-dollar corporation cares more about things that make it money than things that are actually fun? So what we know is that Roblox will boost games that have high retention, higher spending of money, and higher amounts of returning users after a week. These things are the reasons why so many games have daily spinner wheels, microtransactions, and why they have daily login bonuses. That last one in particular is to boost the 7-day metric. If a game can get you to come back each day for a login bonus, it'll boost the 7-day metric. It's also why many games have an update every single week. All of this stuff is why your front pages are flooded with brain rot. The worst part? Whatever comes after Brainrot will be what's on your front pages next. Creek also talks about single-player games and how they'll never get the same promotion as multiplayer games. This leads me to believe that if a game with 0 microtransactions were to get popular, it would actually lose Roblox money just through hosting the game on their servers. Roblox can't have games like that making it to the front page because then they wouldn't make any money. This also makes me wonder if Roblox does massive purges of games that have had 0 to very few users for long periods of time. Do they ever just go through and get rid of games? Every generation has had their trend, and that trend has always been looked down on by the previous generation. It's a tale as old as time. At one point, people said that TV would make kids stupid, so they called it the boob tube. Rock music was satanic. Dungeons and Dragons was satanic. Labubus are satanic, but that one might actually be true. Custom phrases and slang are normal for any generation trying to differentiate itself from the previous one. It just so happens that the current generation likes Brainrot, which is also probably satanic. No one understands a word of what these kids are saying, but that's true for any parent that listens to their kids talk to their friends. Everyone thinks the generation after them is stupid because of what they say. And that's happening now. The youngest generation is being called stupid for Brainrot, and they are stupid, but that's okay. It's okay to be stupid. Everyone eventually becomes their parents, whether they like it or not, and when Gen Alpha and Gen Z grow up and have kids, they'll also think the things their kids enjoy is stupid. Back in my day, we had Skibidi Toilet and Brainrot. For a while, Copy Bar got popular, and I don't know why. We didn't have all this gobbledygoo that these youngsters have now. We were so Sigma back then. All right, Gramps, time to go back to the home for dinner. Go eat your tapioca, chill out, take a nap. As you get older and enter into the real world, you have to deal with people in a more professional way. All that stuff that you liked, said, and did when you were a kid falls away. It has to in order to deal with your corporate job or customers you might need to serve. You become busy and less in tune with what's going on in the world in terms of culture or with what the kids are doing these days. You grow up, and so do the people you know. Since no one has time to sit around and make up new words, everything becomes ordinary. Kids have more time on their hands to do this because they're in school, surrounded by people their own age, and they are constantly sharing videos and memes that push their, quote, culture forward. The rules are different for kids, and that's okay. But now we have AI that can spread those memes faster than ever before. A simple meme passed around the internet can become a full-fledged game with microtransactions and battle passes in a very short time frame. Is that a good thing? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. All I know is that I am never going to be able to buy a stick of RAM at a reasonable price ever again. Thanks! If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I've been BubbaTV24, and I am signing out.